Thank you for applying for the position as a dietitian here at Bay Health. Can you tell me about yourself and why you believe you're best fit for this job?
Hello, my name's Earl, and I'm from Maryland. For the most part, I've worked with kids and at TJ Maxx. I've also donated to the food drive at Laurel Lakes and worked with the Boys and Girls Club to give back to the less fortunate and just children in general to help them grow up and have a good role model. This job fits me because as I pursue this degree, as I pursue more knowledge, I'm only going to try harder and harder and harder to understand how to fill this role. Now, I already have the knowledge behind me, I just have to put it into practice.
Do you prefer working with a team or independently?
Thank you for asking that question. I prefer working alone, but I also know how to work with a team. The reason being for working alone is because sometimes you just get lazy coworkers, people who don't really pull up on their end. So then I have to overcompensate for them. And don't nobody want to do that, but if I have to, I will. But I understand that working with a team also leaves no room for mistakes or little room for mistakes. Having other people to catch my mistakes and hold me accountable for where I'm wrong or right at. So I'll make adjustments where adjustments need to be made.
Can you describe how you handle tight deadlines on the job?
How I handle tight deadlines is by prioritizing. I prioritize what is needed to be. So if I have a deadline that is a week, 2 weeks, I'll take the time to put aside the time that's needed to finish before the deadline. Because realistically, you can finish in enough time. I prioritize it instead of doing what I want and then doing it. Or doing, what I need to do is first. So that's how I handle tight deadlines.
What's the biggest challenge you've ever faced in any job and how did you fix it?
The biggest challenge I've ever faced is a lazy coworker. He wasn't pulling on his end. At first, I was just, doing it for him. So I do my position and then I go and do what he needed to do after him because they were being lazy and I didn't really because his job affected mine as well. But after a while, I had to sit down with my man and talk to him and say, hey, your job is affecting my job too, so can you pull through on your end? Because if we're gonna be a team here, let's work together. And it's kind of hard when you got somebody who's not pulling through on their end and you're trying to work and you're trying to do all this stuff. It just adds a lot of extra stress and responsibility that's unnecessary. And I also had to express to him that you don't want to lose the job that you applied for from being lazy, from doing something that you really need to do. If you didn't want to do this job, then they got to find somebody else. I was still like, you got to quit, please, because it's hurting me and it's hurting you.
What would you suggest for a patient that has high blood pressure and is suffering from prediabetes?
So let's get the high blood pressure out the way first. Let's go ahead and add some vegetables to that diet and more fiber. Well, more fiber to his entire diet in general, and tell him to go outside and for a 45-minute walk and to just increase physical activity by at least 30 to 45 minutes a day or an hour. More fiber would help him feel more satiated, so with the vegetables, because they also provide fiber, calcium, and a lot of other minerals and vitamins that are essential to the body, amino acids that are essential to the body, and overall he will see a change in his lifestyle and his health. I would also suggest that he take out trans fats. Trans fats are the leading cause of clogged arteries, so is cholesterol, sodium, and all those other sources. So I would tell him those things to fix in his diet, and also add more hydration, water, whether it's via electrolytes or Gatorade or just anything to really keep him hydrated throughout the day so that he doesn't feel as hungry. Because the main, another cause of that is overeating. So to stop overeating, you want to hydrate and get foods that are high in protein, high in fiber to feel more satiated.
What's the most difficult problem you've ever solved?
The most difficult problem I've ever solved is living life. Every day you have challenges, you face challenges and you face problems. I really just want to be better than I was yesterday. Life to me is overcoming myself, changing my thought process, how I handle things, how I feel about things, and just my overall work ethic. To work harder, to be better than I was yesterday and the day before that, and to really keep my feet on the ground, to not live in my head, to keep my feet where they are stationary and just take everything day by day by day, because the problem that I have is overthinking, and I know how to fix it, so I have to implement it, and it's all just one big challenge for me. So the better I get, the harder I work at it every day, the better I'll get. Nothing really major, but it's a challenge, and it's a problem, it's difficult, but you live and you learn, and I'm learning every day.
You're hired.